Hey, it's your boy Hendo checking in, coming to y'all with another video. Like, comment, subscribe, hype this video up. Not gonna waste your time. Let's get into the content.
You promise you go with me now?
Bro, stop talking like that. You ain't going to no big city. Mass ain't gonna let you.
Yeah, I'm going with or without you.
Rudy, stop talking like that. Stop. Hey, what are you niggers doing over there?
Get out of here.
Hey, what are you doing?
And cut! Fantastic. I need more American slave. Okay?
Like struggle.
So, yeah, the struggle.
Sort of like the dialogue, like the back and forth banner.
Absolutely. Yes.
See, this role was sort of a bit cheeky. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone, you know. During the filming of this role in this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
A fantastic turnout on the red carpet tonight. And just arriving, we have Samson Dubois at the American Guild Awards.
Samson, you look great tonight.
How hard was it for you to change your accent?
As a little boy from Manchester, I think, I struggled a bit with the dialect, right? But to really get into character for this quite astonishing role that I took on, to say the least, I put it all on the line.
Bro, the Druski skit got all the black Brits big mad as hell. You know the London Hughes girl that's always like talking like shit kind of, that lives in LA. It's funny, Druski. It's really funny, Druski. I thought it was funny, but not too much on the black slavery skits, because I'm also a descendant of black slavery as well, and I don't think that black Americans understand that slavery happened all across the Americas. I'm a descendant of slavery from the Americas and the Caribbean, and I don't think that black Americans understand the geography. Like last time I checked, Caribbean slaves did not have no southern drawl accent from the southeast of what we now call the United States, which your goofy ass stop doing that shit, right? And I also think they do that shit because black actresses and actors put their foot down and said, we don't always want to play roles that shed us in a negative light and portray us like we're degenerates and stuff like that, or only have us in a light of being like gangsters or 12 Years a Slave. What about movies like John Horse? They don't want to make movies like that. What about, you know, saying the history of our ancestors when it came to the Gilded Era? J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller and Carnegie were not the only people in the Gilded Era. There were black people making inventions and stuff like that, right, that deserve to be, their stories deserve to be told also. And that's why black Americans kind of like stepped back from that. So they started importing all these foreigners and shit like that that would play, you know, saying movies that represent us in this weird ass, degenerate, traumatic ass shit that they trying to make us look like in Hollywood. So that's just my theory, bro. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
And it shows why them people are jealous right there. The fact of the matter is, yes, you guys did go through the same transatlantic slavery that we went through. The fact of the matter is people aren't talking about it. It's not people aren't talking about it because your slavery was less brutal or your slavery doesn't matter. It's that we keep it alive over here in America. In America, we won't let them forget about what they did to us. In America, we continue to fight against the racism in our country, the racist system in our country. A lot of you guys let it go to get along. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys are on the side of white supremacy. You try to pretend like you're not black. You try to pretend like erase that happened to you. I just did a video about Mexicans being hung in DC, and there's a Mexican guy in there saying that, like, yeah, there's a whole history of Hispanics being hung around the early 1900s, and you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them don't talk about that is because they try to distance themselves from that history. They don't like that part of their history. So a lot of these British are jealous because we are the when the transatlantic slave trade is talked about, usually movies are made about it. Usually it's from the black American perspective, and that's not just with slavery. That's with all of media. You look at music, it's through the black, like we are the default black. Our blackness is painted over everybody else's black. We're the default black of the world. We've given the world all the music, everything. Like that all comes from FBA culture, black American culture. And that's not to say that anybody else's culture is less than ours or better than ours, or ours is better than everybody other black culture. It's just to say that we've been papered over. When people think of black, they think of us because of the media, because of the movies, because of the things that's been pushed. So that's why they're in here playing our people. They're in here playing, which we have a right to be like, we don't want to see you representing a black American when you're not a black American. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there is no movies being made about the Caribbean transatlantic slave trade because, you know, there's nobody pushing for that. Nobody wants to see that. You know what I mean? Or I'm not saying nobody wants to see that. I would love to see a movie made about the they're part of the transatlantic slave trade. But we got to understand that it's a problem.
After this new Druski skit done dropped, we don't need no more diaspora wars, but this one part where Black Brits not getting it. They keep saying, I love the skit, but yeah, do Black Americans not know that we went through slavery too? If you listen to the skit, the director is directing him about American slavery. Things was different in North America, Caribbean, and South American slavery. Things was a little different, okay, baby? So yeah, let's not start a diaspora war, okay?
Let's talk about Druski's latest skit. It is about Black British actors playing Black American iconic roles. I've seen the comments, I've seen the energy, but I want to say something really clearly. Black Americans have experienced one of the most brutal, well-documented atrocities in human history and are obviously still living with the systemic impact it has in their society. And I'm not here to take away from it. But the Caribbean diaspora are descendants of slaves. Africans, to this day, are still living in the wreckage that colonialism left them in, economically, culturally, generationally, still to this day. So I say all of this to say every Black person on earth has been shaped and impacted by what white power did to them. So the pain isn't identical. I'm not saying the pain is the same, but the origin is. What I will say plainly is that Black Brits move with Black Americans. We protested in London for Black Lives Matter in 2020. We consume Black American music, the TV shows. We move with you guys. That isn't reciprocated all the time. I'm not asking for a transaction, I'm asking for recognition because we don't have to be the same to see each other.
I'm seeing some Black American creators saying stuff like Druski's gonna upset the Black British people with this new skit. And I'll be so honest with you guys, we genuinely do not care. This isn't the first time that you guys have said that Black British actors are taking roles away from Black American actors, and this won't be the last. One, it's not really true. We've only got like 9 prominent Black British actors that I can think of. So in the 9 in the sea of what, 200, maybe 300 Black American actors, that's really not that much. 2, the point that you guys keep on making is very similar to the replacement theory that white Americans, white British people, and just white people in general make about Black people, immigrants, people of color. If you were to replace the words Black British actor with immigrants and say that immigrants are coming over here and taking our jobs, you see how crazy you actually sound. We have got more than enough things to worry about with Reform winning a lot of these local elections here in the UK. We do not care about a Druski skit. Like I promise you, our problems are very, very serious. Cost of living is going up. M&S are doing £6 meal deals. It's getting dangerous out here.
You have to think about it. These people grew up with our culture being the dominant culture around them, our culture, our Blackness being portrayed as Blackness. And it was a good thing. You know, I'm Black and I'm proud. All these movements that we started, we gave love, we gave peace, and we gave proud to be Blackness out to the world. We gave that, we showed that. And so a lot of them latched onto our culture and they started to also latch on. So my problem with it would be like, why don't the Black Brits have their own musical genre? Why do they do UK drill, which is a subgenre of rap? You know what I mean? Why are you doing a version of rap and hip hop? They're not seeing how parasocial their relationship is with Black Americans because we know nothing about your culture. We know nothing about you as a people. Majority of us, we don't learn about you. We wouldn't even know that you were Black Brits are like a thing over there. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't even know about y'all, but you're so latched on to our culture that you think that you're a part of it. So that's why we have these arguments online where we'll see a Black Brit person talking about Black culture or what they think is like their opinion on American FBA culture, and then we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? This has nothing to do with you. And they grew up watching the Fresh Prince. They grew up listening to the Michael Jacksons and the Lil Waynes, and they grew up listening to the same thing we have as culture. They've been growing up listening to our culture, listening to the things that are our media and how our media is portrayed across the world. So they have this relationship with our media that we don't have with them, their culture, or their media. You know what I mean? Like, most people I know, they don't listen to UK drill. They can't get with it. And for me, it's just the talking. You know what I mean? I just don't like the way they sound. And a lot of us don't, but majority of them, everybody in the UK knows rap. You know what I mean? They know American rappers. They know American rap. They listen to American art. They watch American movies. You know what I mean? We don't watch foreign movies like that. That's not a big thing over here. So that's why they're more connected to our culture than we are to theirs. But let's keep going.
Why are so many black British actors and actresses cast to play black American roles? A black man fresh out of prison trying to do right for his kids. A black drug dealer from the East Coast. A black Southern woman from the 1930s. But I'm going to tell you why British actors play these roles better. African Americans, or people in general, when you live in something, you don't see it how other people see it outside of that something. And it's because black American culture is the most dominant cultural force ever. That's why it's a part of everything in every country. People at the furthest ends of earth are taking a piece of black American culture. So these people grew up admiring and studying black American culture to the point where they became experts in our culture. It's kind of the same thing that white people did so they could be able to sell our culture. I'm not taking away from these people's talent. They are very talented and they earned each and every one of these roles. But my point is the prominence of black American culture and wanting to be a part of it is what made these actors be able to embody these roles so well.
The filming of this role in this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
Why are black Americans' cultural experiences often told by outsiders? We're talking about Idris Elba, we're talking about Dam's Interest, we're talking about Cynthia Erivo. Specifically Cynthia Erivo because she spoke so ill of black Americans before she played Harriet. Playing characters like Aretha Franklin, Celie off The Color Purple, but had zero respect for the culture in which these characters come from. Acting is about transformation, so I don't blame the actors for taking on these roles. They do good in the roles. I find it funny when black Americans benefit the least from telling our stories. There would be so much authenticity that can come from a black American person playing these roles. There'd be more intention in my mind. I need Damson Idris to play a hood character from LA. For example, Daniel Ezra from All Americans, Spencer James. That is a very black boyhood. Somebody who has to literally study the language, study these people, as opposed to somebody who probably was actually brought up in it. There's so many black American actors who this is their real life experience. I think they also believe that black British people are more palatable, less politically tied to black, American identity. Black American culture is so globally consumed, right? But it's not protected. Our slang, fashion, humor, aesthetics, you know what I'm saying? Our activism. The way black people show up literally has influence on every single person, every single race. Shout out to the actors. This is no critique to the work they have done. You know what I mean? But it's a system that's built that we have to question. Black American culture is our pain, is not a performance. That's another thing. At least if y'all are going to constantly share us in slavery and gang violence, and that's all y'all want to push, at least at the bare minimum, be paying a black American actor, be paying a person who's going to benefit for the culture. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like, it feels weird. It's like tap dancing in our identity, you know?
As hilarious as that Druski skit is, why is it now the narrative is white directors casting black Brits over black Americans? Again, I thought we've been through this. It's actually black Americans that are casting black Brits, guys. The directors of these movies that are casting black Brits are black American. It's Ryan Coogler who cast Daniel Kaluuya, a Brit, and Letitia Wright, a Brit in Black Panther, and Wumi Maseko, a Brit in Sinners. Your beef is with Ryan, okay? It's Ava DuVernay who cast David Oyelowo in Selma as Martin Luther King. Ava DuVernay put him in that role, okay? Your beef is with Ava, okay? When it comes to 99% of these movies that you see black Brits playing black Americans in, it's because a black American put them there. Just like John Singleton, God rest his soul, he cast Damson Idris in Snowfall. John Singleton, it's him. He chose Daniel, okay? It weren't a white man. It was John Singleton that did it. Casey Lemons. Everyone's so mad at Cynthia Erivo for playing Harriet Tubman. Casey Lemons is a black director. She cast Cynthia Erivo in that role. She put her there. And then the casting director who suggested Cynthia and a bunch of other black women from America, a bunch of people, but the casting director of Harriet is Kim Coleman, a black woman. Come on, guys. I could go on. Zoe Kravitz, Black American. She cast Naomi Aki in the lead role in Blink Twice. Naomi Aki is Black British. Casey Lemons, Black American. She cast Naomi Aki as Whitney Houston in I Wanna Dance With Somebody. Casey Lemons is Black American. Naomi Aki is Black British. Okay? Jordan Peele, Black American, cast Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out. Shaka King, Black American, cast Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton. Okay? It's actually your own people that are doing this. So you can't be mad at the actors. Get mad at the black... I mean, it's your own people. Get mad at the black creatives that actually want to put Black Brits in things. I don't know, because they're the ones doing it. They're the ones doing it.
This new Druski skit's got a lot of black folks from the UK pissed off, and I understand why, but it doesn't stop it from being any less true, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you got black actors from the UK like Idris Elba saying that he's not a black actor, he's just an actor. Even though he benefited and had his career blow up because of the roles that he played as Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I think Idris Elba's a great and talented actor, but I don't think that he would be in this position that he's in right now if he wasn't on The Wire or American Gangster or other black films and TV shows like that. And the best thing about Druski skits is that it opens up a dialogue, whether it's like goes good or bad, people are talking about it regardless. And I think that this is something that should be talked about because I believe in solidarity within the diaspora. And the faster we're able to break down white supremacist thinking and the coonships and shit like that, the better we will be. Because a lot of the black folks around the diaspora that are not Black Americans will be willfully ignorant and say that we don't know where we come from and just ignore slavery. You know what I'm saying? And some of the people are descendants of slaves. When you think about the folks in the Caribbean, like black folks were not born in the Caribbean. They came from fucking Africa. I think the part about at the very end where he's talking about like taking roles from black actors and do you think that you're better than Black American actors is very violently loud statement, because it's like we're saying the quiet part out loud. We're just getting it out there, putting it out on the table. And obviously not all Black British actors are like Idris Elba. A lot of them have respect for black culture, you know what I'm saying, and just want to be a part of it for real. But I still think that we need to have conversations around the people that are disrespectful to Black Americans but want to partake and benefit from like Black American culture.
Thank y'all for coming and checking out the video. If you made it to the end, let me give you my opinion. I think the Druski skit was funny. It was a good skit. A good skit and something funny should always have truth to it. You know what I mean? It should always have an air of truth. Even if you're exaggerating things, it should still have an air of truth. And that's what truly makes it funny. That's what truly makes you see the skit. And it's not just a joke. It's something that resonates with you because it has an air of truth to it. So when I see the Druski skit, I know that there's an air of truth to that. And you can tell by how it hit, how it landed, and it hit dog hollers. You can hear the responses from the British people and how they felt about it and see what the actual problem is. Now, to me, there's no problem with him doing the skit. Actually, there's no problem with British actors acting in America. You know what I mean? The problem with that, the reason why they act in America is because America has the global market on Hollywood. You know what I mean? Pretty much. American Hollywood is where you need to be to actually make it on a global stage. So of course these British actors are running here, and like you seen that one young lady say, it's even black actors hiring these British actors to play in these parts. You know what I mean? I mean black directors hiring British actors to play in these parts. So who's really to blame? You know what I mean? So to me, it's not a big deal if I see a black actor playing a Black American in a movie. You know what I mean? As long as they're not playing like Nat Turner or like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, like leave our historical great black leaders to us to play. You know what I mean? If they want to play side characters, that's fine. But that's my thing about it. I also feel like if you can, why don't you guys start pushing for Idris Elba and all you guys start pushing for movies that depict the British struggle in the UK for black people. Start pushing your media more. Go back to the UK and build up your own media, and I promise Black Americans will support you. We usually support all things black, but when you encroach on our culture, on our stuff, this is where we get the problem. This is where we get the diaspora wars happening, because you guys have this parasocial relationship with our culture. But it's been your boy Hendo. I appreciate y'all for checking in. Like, comment, subscribe, hype this video up, and we out.